Have you ever looked at your website traffic analytics recently and felt like something was off, like the traditional organic search clicks are slowly starting to drift away, even though you know your market is still active?
You are definitely not alone in noticing that. The reality is that the way people discover information has fundamentally shifted. Your potential customers aren't necessarily typing keywords into a search bar anymore. They are asking ChatGPT, Claude, or Perplexity to find solutions for them. And here is the catch. If your website is packed with heavy JavaScript, complex nested menus, and dynamic layouts, you are essentially invisible to these AI models.
Invisible. That is a terrifying thought for any business owner. We spend so much time and money making our sites look beautiful and intuitive for human eyes, only to realize the new gatekeepers of the internet can't even read them.
Exactly. To an AI crawler, a messy HTML file is just noise. It wastes their token budget, and when these models get confused or run out of processing space, they either ignore your product entirely or, worse, they hallucinate incorrect information about it.
So we are basically speaking different languages. How do we fix this without completely rebuilding our websites from scratch?
The industry has actually come up with a brilliant, lightweight solution called llms.txt. Think of it as the modern successor to robots.txt. But instead of telling search engines where not to go, it acts as a direct roadmap that explains to AI models what your product is and how to understand it.
A roadmap for machines. That sounds incredibly practical. How does it work? Is it just a simple text file?
Yes, it is just a plain text file written in Markdown, hosted at the root of your domain. The structure is standardized under version 1.0. It starts with a mandatory H1 header containing your project name, followed by a block quote that summarizes your SaaS. That block quote is incredibly important because it defines your category and the exact tone the AI should use when referencing you.
So it is not just about being discovered, but about controlling the narrative. If the AI understands our category from that block quote, it won't misclassify what we do.
Precisely. Below that, you can add detailed guides in plain text, followed by H2 headers listing direct links to your most important pages. Each link should have a brief note explaining why it is relevant. There is even an optional section designed specifically for agents running low on time or tokens. They can just skip it if they need to move fast.
It sounds like we are building a VIP lounge for AI bots. We are giving them a clean, quiet room with all the answers so they don't have to deal with the noisy lobby of our main website.
That is a perfect analogy. And the best part is that it doesn't take weeks of development. Any founder can set up a basic version in a couple of hours.
But what should actually go into this file? I assume we shouldn't just copy and paste our entire documentation database into it.
Definitely not. You want to focus on your canonical, high-value content. Think API references, updated pricing tables, essential setup guides, and the core features that differentiate you from competitors. You want to eliminate all the marketing fluff.
Right, because every extra word costs tokens. Let's talk about that token budget. Why is it such a critical metric now?
Because processing information isn't free for these models. Google actually recommends that your primary discovery file stays under 5,000 tokens. If it's too large, the AI might consume its entire context window just trying to read your map, leaving no room to process the actual content of your site.
So brevity is literally money in this new ecosystem. But what if we have a lot of complex, detailed content that we absolutely need the AI to know?
That is where the concept of Markdown twins comes in. Instead of forcing the bot to scrape a heavy HTML page, you create a parallel, clean Markdown version. For example, if you have a guide at yourdomain.com/guide, you host a clean version at yourdomain.com/guide.md. No headers, no footers, no cookie banners, just raw content.
And I assume we can detect who is visiting and serve the right version.
Exactly. You can detect the bot's user agent on the back end and automatically serve the Markdown twin. This can reduce token consumption by 30 to 90% per page. It's incredibly efficient.
That is a massive saving. And it keeps our bandwidth costs down too. Now, what about situations where an AI agent needs everything all at once? Like a RAG system that wants to digest our entire product capability in one go?
For that, the specification includes a file called llms.txt. This is essentially a single aggregated file containing all your documentation. Instead of the bot making hundreds of individual HTTP requests to crawl your site, it just pulls this one file. It's clean, fast, and highly efficient for deep retrieval augmented generation.
It really feels like we are witnessing the birth of a new kind of web architecture. But for a small team, managing all of this, updating the files, keeping links active, generating twins, sounds like it could quickly become a maintenance nightmare.
It can be, if you do it entirely manually. But the ecosystem is evolving fast. For larger teams, you can integrate this into your CI/CD pipeline using tools like Fern or Mintlify. Every time you push a code update or modify your docs, the llms.txt file regenerates automatically.
And what about startups or non-technical founders who don't have complex CI/CD pipelines set up?
That is where platforms like CitableHub come in. They act as a truth engine and entity resolution platform. You list your project, and their AI scans your site to generate a fully optimized llms.txt file in minutes.
So it automates the translation from human-readable web to machine-readable data.
Yes, and it goes further. It creates a profile that is already being actively crawled by bots from OpenAI, Anthropic, and Perplexity. Plus, they give you a launch kit that includes the llms.txt file, AI plugin manifests, and JSON LD schemas to reinforce your brand identity.
That sounds like a complete package for what people are calling GEO, or Generative Engine Optimization. It's wild to think we are already moving past traditional SEO.
We really are, and the stakes are high. If there are inconsistencies between your llms.txt and what the AI actually finds on your site, your authority score drops. The AI will stop trusting your data, and you will simply disappear from its recommendations.
It's all about trust. If the machine can't verify the data, it won't risk recommending it to the user. But what about security? If we are making our data so easy for machines to read, aren't we exposing ourselves to scraping risks or security vulnerabilities?
That is a common concern, but it's important to remember that llms.txt is entirely voluntary and does not replace your security protocols. If you have sensitive data, you simply don't include it in the file. You should still use robots.txt to restrict access to private directories. Think of llms.txt as a public relations officer for your public data, not a security guard.
Got it. It only shares what you want the world to know anyway. Now, you mentioned something earlier about the Model Context Protocol. How does that connect to this?
The Model Context Protocol, or MCP, is a massive step forward. It allows AI agents to interact with your SaaS in real time, fetching structured data, or even executing actions. CitableHub actually provides a free MCP Gateway. This means developers using tools like Claude Code or Cursor can interact directly with your product's data through a secure, standardized bridge.
So we are moving from static text files to active, functional interfaces for AI. It feels like the early days of the mobile web. Remember when companies debated whether they even needed a mobile-friendly site?
Absolutely. And look where we are now. In fact, Google Lighthouse has already started auditing websites for the presence of LLMs under a new category called agentic navigation. It might not be a direct ranking factor for traditional search yet, but it is a clear signal of where the industry is heading. Ignoring this today is exactly like ignoring mobile optimization in 2012.
It's a paradigm shift. If 47% of brands still don't have a clear strategy for generative engine optimization, the early adopters are going to capture a massive share of this new traffic.
And it's highly qualified traffic. When an AI recommends a product, the user has already been vetted. They aren't just browsing. They are looking for a specific solution that the AI has verified. The conversion rates are much higher.
So the return on investment for spending a few hours setting this up is potentially huge. It builds what you might call brand gravity.
Exactly. Brand gravity is the network effect of being easily citable. The more accessible and reliable your data is, the more the AI models will reference you, which builds your authority, leading to even more citations.
It's a virtuous cycle. Well, this has been an eye-opening discussion. It's clear that the web is no longer just for humans. We have to build for the machines if we want to reach the humans.
That is the ultimate takeaway. The future of the web isn't about chasing clicks anymore. It's about being the most reliable, easily citable source of truth in your industry.
A great note to end on. To everyone listening, take a look at your own website today. Ask yourself if an AI could understand it in milliseconds. If the answer is no, it might be time to head over to CitableHub.com, run a free scan, and get your llms.txt file ready. Let's make sure we aren't left behind in this new era.
Give us a like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Welcome to the new era of making your SaaS citable and being referenced by every AI search engine. Join the channel